Donald Trump's election as US President has created a lot of concern in the world as to the future of international peace and security. A lot of these concerns stem from the fact that Trump's presidential campaign was marked by his continual attempts to create a new relationship with Russia. He said some very complimentary things about Vladimir Putin and seems ultimately to be disposed towards essentially allowing Russia to do what it will within its particular sphere of influence. This obviously has grave implications for peace and security in places like Latvia, but obviously also Ukraine, and you could also argue Poland. Trump has suggested that he will rethink the US's commitment to NATO. The problem with respects to that, obviously, is that this collective defence organisation has, according to many people, been the source of security and peace and the absence of conflict in many countries in Eastern Europe. One of those countries is Kosovo. Since 1999, KFOR has been stationed in Kosovo, and certainly according to the Albanian community in Kosovo, it's been a force for good, a force for stability, and the only thing stopping Serbia re-entering Kosovo with force. Now, if we think about Serbia's relationship with Russia and the potentially new relationship between Russia and the United States, then the situation on the ground in Kosovo has arguably changed quite considerably since Trump was elected. It could well be the case, therefore, that Serbia now thinks, well, we have a big ally in Russia. Russia is no longer going to be confronted by the United States, so therefore we can change our foreign policy and we can maybe become a bit more belligerent, a bit more aggressive, and certainly with respects to Kosovo, maybe a bit more involved in Kosovo's affairs. Now, if we think about the events in the last couple of weeks, the train that was stopped on the border, the train covered in slogans saying Kosovo is Serbia, coupled with the very belligerent, aggressive rhetoric from the president of Serbia, suggesting that he wouldn't rule out the use of force and that Kosovo was Serbia and various different quite bellicose sentiments. It all seems, well, certainly you could suggest, it all seems to be moving towards a situation whereby Serbia is ratcheting up its rhetoric so as to soften up the ground, let's say, for some form of intervention in Kosovo. Now, hopefully none of this happens, of course, but you don't need to be a genius, I think, to see that there could well be a connection between Trump's election and Serbia's behaviour. The problem, therefore, could well be that Serbia, as many people in Kosovo have long argued, is looking for a pretext to send troops or police into Kosovo, let's say on the basis of protecting, in inverted commas, the Serbs in northern Mitrovica. Now, if that happened, and if Trump said, well, do I want to have a good relationship with Vladimir Putin, or do I want to save northern Kosovo? Do I want to stand up for the Albanians in Kosovo? Do I want to do something about Serbia protecting what is ultimately a predominantly Serbian part of Kosovo? The chances are, unfortunately, that he may well conclude, well, Kosovo is a price that I'm willing to pay. The problem then, of course, would be that if Serbia moved into northern Kosovo, sent troops or something into northern Mitrovica, if KFOR didn't respond, then naturally the Albanian community would, unsurprisingly, be outraged. That could lead to some form of civil unrest in Kosovo. It could potentially lead to Serbs in Gračanica or other parts of Kosovo perhaps being targeted, but it would certainly lead to outrage amongst the Albanian community, who would naturally feel that they'd been let down. The problem is it could escalate, and you could have a situation then when Serbia says, well, look what's happening in the rest of Kosovo, now we have to intervene more forcefully. Now, as I said, hopefully none of that will happen, and it's, a lot of things would have to fall into place in the wrong way, if you will, before it does, but certainly the election of Donald Trump has potentially ominous implications for peace and security in Kosovo.